Hello, Keith Rucker here at VintageMachinery.org. Guys, going to put together a little odds and ends video for you this week, and I got some pretty interesting things for you. We got, of course, as always, some viewer mail and some things that have come into the shop, new little items, what have you. I got some purchases for the shop. Also have some shop improvements that we've been working on. I think you guys will be interested in seeing. I got some concrete poured for a little area to put my air compressors in. So we'll give you a little tour of that. And just all kinds of interesting stuff in here, so let's get at it. So first up here, got this oiler, a little Bajor oiler that was sent in by Drew Piper. And this is for my planer restoration that I'm working on. If you guys have been following that series, we put in some lubrication for the ways, and I told you I needed a pump of some type to put in there to actually pump that oil. And he had this one and offered it up to me, and I was very excited to get this. I think this is going to work out really good. I do need to do some experimenting with it to kind of figure out how fast it's pumping oil. It's got a gear on here right now that when you turn that, it operates the pump. And I need to see again how quick it's working so that I can determine how I need to power this. I can either run it off of the main shaft that's powering the planer, or what I would really like to do is, if it'll work, is put a little ratchet type device on here so that whenever the table cycles, it just turns this a little bit at a time. But I need to again see how quickly it's pumping so that I can determine which method we need to go with on that. But this ought to be perfect. I got a nice reservoir in here, going to hold plenty of oil. Anyway, I'm really excited to have this very nice unit, and we're going to get it on there. It's mounted on this little bracket. That right there probably will not be used on the planer. I don't know. I need to figure out exactly where it's going to be mounted first, but it should tie into that system very nice. Also, kind of related to the oiler stuff, Frank Stanley also, actually I had several people that offered up some items to help with my lubrication problem. Frank had some clamps for those little lines that I was going to have to make, and he actually had some extra ones that are made exactly for that purpose. He sent those along, and he also sent along this oil reservoir that goes on a one-shot style Bajor oiler, and I actually have one of these on another machine that this bowl fits on. This was a little rebuild kit that he had that he picked up somewhere that really didn't have a use for. And I said, yeah, I can put that on that machine, and actually the one I've got is kind of ragged, so that'll help out. He also sent along some taps here, so we'll put those over in our tap drawer and have them when we need them. So thanks a lot, Frank. So another really nice viewer gift here came in from Jerry Buchanan, and he had seen where I had mentioned in a video that I was looking for a couple of sizes of these Brown & Sharpe straight edges, and I was actually offering to purchase those if somebody had something they wanted to sell me, but Jerry actually insisted that he give this to me, which I was just blown away by. Very, very nice gesture there. This is an 18-inch Brown & Sharpe straight edge, a nice little size. I think there's still two sizes of these Brown & Sharpes, at least in the below 6 feet. They made them in, I think, 8-foot and 10-foot and 12-foot lengths. I don't have those and don't know that I have a need for them. But anyway, he had this 18-incher. I'm still looking for the 12-inch one and the 24-inch one. Hint, hint, if anybody knows where some are, I would be interested in purchasing some just to kind of round out my collection. I guess I've turned into a straight edge collector. I seem to be acquiring more and more of them, but I use these all the time in my machinery building. And anyway, these Brown & Sharpes are just really nice. So anyway, Jerry, thank you. What's really cool about this too is that it has the original little wooden protector on here. These little clips, this is from Brown & Sharpe. These are a lot harder to find when you get the one that has the little wooden base, particularly the ones that have these little spring-loaded clips that hold them in there. So, whoops. Helps if you close them up, but you can just pick that up and take it with it, and that helps protect it while you're traveling or whatever with it. Very, very nice. Thank you, Jerry. And up next, we have one of the beautiful Starrett red boxes. And this was sent in by Jim Murch out in California, and he is sending me a nice little 6-inch Starrett machinist level. Beautiful little item here. It's in great shape. Needs to be cleaned up a little bit, but other than that, it's in awesome shape. And very nice item to have. That is a Starrett. It says it right there on the vial. Of course, you can flip that around to protect it. And looks like my bench is kind of level. How about that? I wonder if that was by design. Anyway, Jim, thanks so much for sending that in. That'll make a nice, useful addition to the shop. Up next, beautiful little handcrafted item sent in by Lou Bush down in Jacksonville, Florida. And Lou sent along this handmade clipboard, and he said he makes these out of some scrap lumber he has laying around, and he told me the different woods. I got them written down. So according to what he sent me, the woods on here from left to right are Brazilian cherry, ash, white oak, walnut, ash, white oak, Brazilian cherry, white oak, and ash. So anyway, very nice little assortment, and this is something we'll definitely put to use out here in the shop. And it's interesting because this little clipboard brought back some memories. When I was in the 7th grade, took a wood shop class, and we actually made clipboards as a project in the 7th grade. Now, ours were not nearly this nice, but ours were just a piece of plywood that we cut out. We actually painted them, and we screen printed our school logo on them, and then put the little clipboard head on them. Very similar to what we have here, but I have no idea whatever happened to that clipboard. I remember it vividly, but I haven't seen it in years and years and years. I'm sure it's long gone. But anyway, this is a much prettier piece. I love the wood on it. And Lou, thanks for sending it along. So next item here comes from Rick Sigerfried. I probably said that wrong, but Rick, I appreciate it anyway. This is a little oil can that he sent me. He said he thought it would look good working out there with my metal planer that I'm restoring, and I agree with him. I think that this would look very appropriate to help oil that machine up. So it feels like the plunger's in good shape. I'll have to put some oil in here and check it out. But yeah, I like that. I think it matches the machine, so thank you very much for sending that along. We can't seem to do an odds and ends without having at least one book in here, and so this one was sent in by Mike Nix, and in the theme of my metal planer, this book is titled A Treatise on Planers from the Cincinnati Planer Company. Really cool book here, talks all about using a metal planer. Some really cool pictures in here. I've got some homework to do. I'm going to be getting mine ready to start running here before long, so I'm going to have to get the book out here and read it. So Mike, thanks a lot for sending this in. This is going to be some great material for me to do some studying on, and I appreciate it greatly. Next item, I got these in the mail the other day. This is actually some parts for the steam stoker engine that I'm working on restoring. I got a series of videos going on that right now. And I've been doing some collaborations with this project, kind of teaming up with a couple of the YouTubers out there to get some of the individual parts and pieces made for this restoration. And when I was out at the Good of the Land Fest out in Texas this past fall, got a chance to meet and talk with Quinn Dunkey, who has the Blondie Hacks YouTube channel. You can search her on YouTube under Blondie Hacks. And she is a machinist out in the California area, does some YouTube videos and what have you. And she actually approached me and said, hey, if there's ever an opportunity to do some kind of collaboration, she was wanting to look at doing that. And I said, yeah, I've got some stuff coming up on the steam stoker engine. So here's what I did. I sent her the prints, the blueprints that I had for this particular part. And in exchange for that, she sent back 4 of these guide bars that will be used in the steam stoker engine. Now these are basically, there's a cross head that slides back and forth and a little trough in the main casting. These hold it down, keep it from coming out, and you can see the original. It is rusted, pitted up, in really, really bad shape. I just decided, I'm not even going to try to reuse these. I guess I could have gone over and put them on the surface grinder or thinned them out a little bit, but I wanted to keep them to the proper thickness. So anyway, she sourced some material, she made these up for me, did a little video on them, and we're glad to have these in here. We'll be seeing these later on in that series of restorations when I get ready to put the machine or put the engine back together. Now one thing I'll note, and I did not catch this, but the ones that came out of the stoker engine are about 3/8 of an inch shorter than the ones that she made. She made hers exactly to the blueprint. That was my fault for not catching it. And actually, I need to check this out on the main casting, which I don't even have in the shop right now because another YouTuber is doing a collaboration project helping me out on that. I'm pretty sure that these are going to fit just fine, but I'll verify that. Fortunately, worst case, I have to just cut a couple of, 3/8 of an inch off the end of these. No big deal at all. And the only thing I may do to these other than that further is probably going to put this on the surface grinder and just get a really nice smooth surface. You can see the mill marks in here. This actually feels super smooth, but you can actually see the marks in there. And I'm positive that these will be fine like they are, but we can do better. So, Quinn actually suggested that I just grind them, and I'll probably just do the one side that's down that actually the part slides on. Won't even worry about the top side because there's nothing there where the surface finish is going to matter. But Quinn, thank you very much for taking the time to do this, and I'd encourage you to go over, check out her YouTube channel. Again, Blondie Hacks is the name of her channel, and I'll put a link to the video that she did making these down in the description of the video if you want to go check that out. I also want to share with you guys some shop improvements we've been working on out here. You probably already noticed, because I always kind of stand over here, that my toolboxes behind me are different. And I did purchase this set of toolboxes here. This is a nice 72-inch bottom piece down here with, I forget how many drawers, but a lot more than what I had here before. I got a couple of these boxes to go on the top to give me a little more storage space, and even had room to pull out a couple more of my wooden boxes to kind of get them all lined up right here, just to be able to use all these together. So the toolbox that was here, there was absolutely nothing wrong with it. I was just running out of room and needed a little bit more tool storage than what I had, and was also needing some tool storage kind of in the back shop back there, so that I could have some stuff around my metal planer. So I decided to go ahead and just purchase this setup here, and this actually gave me more tool storage than what I had here previously, and allowed me to relocate that other tool chest back there to the back shop where I can use it as well. And I really like having the drawers in these toolboxes to store all kinds of stuff in. This stuff here is really more of my just regular hand tools, things like wrenches, sockets, pliers, pullers, that type of stuff is really what's all kind of here, although I do have some machinist stuff up. And actually these boxes right now don't have much in them, but I'll be putting more machinist tools in those as well. But real happy to have some more toolbox storage. You just can't seem to have enough. This is going to make a big difference and really help me out here in the shop. I also got me a computer out here in the shop after how many years I've been doing this. This computer is actually my old computer that I was using for doing my video editing and stuff. A little over a year ago, about a year and 3 months ago, I upgraded computers. This one here was just kind of starting to get a little bit bogged down, and newer technology coming out. So I upgraded computers. That computer's up in the house. I actually got a really powerful laptop that I can carry with me when I'm on the road. Love that new computer. This computer's just kind of been hanging around in the office. I've kind of just kept it up there because I had so much data and files on it. I finally got it all cleaned up. I actually just reformatted the hard drive, reinstalled Windows on this one, and I brought it down here to the shop where I will have a nice computer that I can use in the shop. And this is a big help for me because I'm always trying to look stuff up on the internet, ordering stuff, you know, MasterCard, Amazon, whatever, before I either had to use my phone, which I'm just not a big fan of doing stuff like that on the phone. I know a lot of the younger folks are. I just like having a bigger screen. My eyes aren't as good as they used to be, and my fat fingers don't type as well as I can on a keyboard. So anyway, nice to have a little computer down here in the shop now. I have just put this down here today, and I have been on it all the time. Previously, anytime I needed to use the computer, I had to walk up to the house, go upstairs to my office. It just took a lot of time and effort. So this is going to be a big help out here. I think what I'm going to do is I just kind of got it temporarily set up right now. I think I'm going to get a bigger monitor, like a big TV type monitor here, mounted on the wall. I'm probably going to take the computer box and put it down below, where I'm not using up my space on the bench. And nice thing is too is that I can actually use this to start watching YouTube videos while I'm out here in the shop working on stuff. When I'm not filming, a lot of times I don't get to keep up with other people's YouTube channels because I spend so much time working on my own. So this will give me an opportunity to do that as well. Another shop improvement item that I'm going to just talk about, I'll show you some pictures that I've taken previously of this process because I was going to go out and film a little segment, but of course it started raining right here when I start filming this. But this past week, I've been pouring some concrete out behind the shop. Had a friend of mine who's a contractor come over here. They brought his little excavator, got everything dug up, put in the forms, and got 2 different slabs poured for me out behind the shop this week. One of them is just a little apron to go outside the back door. I've got a 14-foot tall, 14-foot wide door in the back of the shop, and it was just going out onto the grass. So we put a nice skirt out there around there just so I have a slab outside the shop that I can roll out onto and work on stuff outside on the back side. I have that on the front, but I didn't have it in the back. The other thing we did was I poured a 6-foot by 10-foot slab kind of on the back side of the shop. And the goal there is we're going to put my air compressor outside in that little air on that slab. I'm going to actually enclose it, make it again a nice enclosed area. It'll also give me some extra room for some storage that I can put out there. But I've shared in my last odds and ends video that we just recently purchased a new air compressor for the shop, and I need to get all that stuff set up. So we're going to be, like I said, building a little doghouse, I guess you could say, out there to put that compressor in, where it will be enclosed and under shelter, but not in the shop. So hopefully I can keep the noise level down a little bit more by having it out there. And anyway, you can kind of see some of the pictures I've been putting up here showing that process where they came in and dug it out, put in the footers in the forms, and then concrete guys came in and poured that for us. Looks real good. So here in the next week or two, hopefully we'll get some construction work started there. I'll do the construction work myself and get that little building put in and start plumbing the shop for air will be the next thing after that. And guys, I also want to just take a minute here and just mention something. I've actually had a couple of emails from people this past week asking me a very legitimate question that I've never really had that much before. And they've been asking, hey, do I have any control over what ads YouTube puts on my channel? Evidently, a lot of my YouTube videos have had political ads going in front of them that some people just don't necessarily agree with. And I try very hard to stay out of politics. My channel is not about politics. It's about doing stuff in the shop. But trust me, I understand your frustration. And to answer your question, no, I have no control over it. So if one political ad plays and that's not the guy you're for, it's not because I'm for that guy. I have absolutely no control over it. That is YouTube. They have complete control over that. That's just where we are. I'll tell you what I do, guys. I spend about $10 a month, and I subscribe to YouTube Premium, which is a service that you can get from YouTube. And when you do that, it takes all of the ads off of all of the videos. You don't ever see an ad. It costs about $10 a month and removes all ads whatsoever. I can tell you that as a creator, you say, well, that hurts the creators because now they're not getting the revenue off of the ads. And listen, that is important that we get that. The good news is that we still get a commission or money for each play from those YouTube Premium plays. And I've gone in, at least on my channel, and done the math. I actually get more money off of a YouTube Premium play than I do off of just a regular ad play. So if you're worried about that aspect, don't. The other nice thing about YouTube Premium that I find very useful, I travel a lot with my job, although I haven't been lately with all the COVID-19 stuff going on, but I do travel a lot with my job. And one of the other benefits with the YouTube Premium is you can actually download videos to a device, whether it be a computer, laptop, a phone, iPad, what have you, and then be able to watch those videos offline. So if I'm on an airplane flying somewhere, or I'm someplace that doesn't have internet access, I can create a playlist before I leave and have that. And I do it all the time when I'm flying, because I would rather watch YouTube videos that I don't normally have time to watch. I can catch up on those while I'm up in the air, and I do that using the download feature that comes with the YouTube Premium. I know not everybody's going to be willing to do that, but I just mention that in case you're not aware of it. It is an option. I do it, have been for some time. I have not watched an ad on YouTube in years, and trust me, I hate watching ads. I hate that that's part of this platform, but it is where us creators do get revenue from, so it's important for me. But honestly, I'm a YouTube Premium guy. I just pay a little bit extra, and that money does get spread around, at least partially, to the guys that I watch to help support their channels, and I get benefit because I don't have to sit through those ads. Just throwing that out there in case you're not aware. And as long as we're talking about revenue, I hate to do this, and I haven't done it in quite some time, but again, I'm just going to real quickly mention that if you do want to support this channel, one of the ways that you can do that is you can become a Patreon supporter through Patreon. It's a third-party service that's out there where you can contribute whatever amount per month you want to the creators that you enjoy watching stuff. Guys, it costs money to do what we do. It takes a lot of time and effort for us to do what we do. And, you know, I hate to say it's about the money. It's not all about the money, but trust me, it makes a big difference. And some days when I get frustrated with YouTube and I get frustrated with the amount of time it takes to do this, I'm thinking to myself, I could get so much more done. The fact that I am getting a little bit of a financial reward does kind of help keep me going and help keeping me do this. So that is an option, and I know, again, not everybody's in a situation where they can do that. If you can, though, I would encourage you to do that. You know, our revenue from watching individual videos, whether it be from ads or YouTube Premium, it's pennies per month, per person, really. I think it takes between 5 and 10 views just to earn 1 penny. So if you watch every video that I put out every month, you know, I'm probably making about 1 penny off of you. You can make up that difference. If you get value out of this content, I'd encourage you, not just me, but any creator out there, but if you get value out of it, support them. Even if it's just $1 a month, because again, $1 a month, it adds up. It makes a big difference. So just consider that. You know, if you can't do it again, it's not a deal breaker. I'm still going to keep on doing these things, but it does help me out tremendously. And I appreciate each and every one of you guys that do support the channel through Patreon. There's also a link up on the YouTube page where you can make a one-time donation through PayPal. That's another option that you can do. And guys, I appreciate everything. The money that I get off of YouTube, for the most part, gets reinvested back into the shop, back into equipment and gear, cameras, microphones, computers, all the stuff that it takes to do this. And trust me, I've got a small fortune invested in the equipment that it takes to put these videos together. And if it wasn't for the contributors and it wasn't for the revenue that I get off of YouTube, I couldn't keep doing that. Enough on that, guys. With that, that is going to be a wrap on this video. As always, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your subscriptions. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, I would encourage you to please do so. And we always appreciate those comments and thumbs up. Those are helpful as well. And with that, we'll catch you on the next video.